many mighty foes that
But what happened to Kitty?
nearly stopped us at several occasions. We'll get to the kitty. Actually, we'll start with the kitty because we were fighting.
Quick recap. That's the most important thing. We need to know what happened, Brian.
Yeah.
So the kitty. Well, we concluded the combat. After they were down to 2 Warforged, they decided to run. I think it was 2 Warforged, right?
One was very badly damaged. It was into zombie mode, and that was actually the one who had done the +1 leadership. So the other one said +1 leadership, and the badly damaged one said accept, and then the one who +1 leadership ran away.
Right.
And the party pursued. Almost immediately after that, the damaged one was destroyed.
So we chased the one that was running away, and we managed to stop it and kill it. At which point, Aurora went looking for the cat because the cat had run away, and the rest of the party started looting the corpses.
Because it was
we were like looking for identification and stuff like that because we didn't want to loot corpses of the fallen.
Yeah, because there was the Warforged, but then there was also a bunch of rotting bodies that they obviously killed earlier.
So, yeah. So we got some loot out of that. Cricket went with Aurora so that she wouldn't be wandering around on her own. She probably, I don't know.
Befriend a Trask.
Yeah, or something. Well, if she succeeded in that would be pretty awesome. Anyway, so we found the cat, and Aurora named him Parsley or Parsnip.
Nutmeg.
No, I changed it afterwards to either Parsley or Parsnip. I think it was Parsley.
Maybe, I don't remember.
Yeah. We spent a long time coming up with names for this cat and discussing what the best name was. But ultimately, I think we settled on Parsley.
Yeah, she got it to come, and it was very friendly, and she was petting it. And
It was extremely healthy.
yes, it was in very good shape because she had healed it.
Yeah. So, we found a couple...
The party has a cat.
Yes, the party has a cat. And a Unin.
And a pet Unin.
Aurora loves the cat, and also Croesus loves the cat.
Yeah.
He's very excited about the cat.
Cricket is ambivalent towards the cat. Respects it as a colleague, I suppose.
Yeah.
Hank.
Hank hates it.
Yeah, Hank is a stupid cat. Like, he lets the party have it, but he's
he's
obviously...
not gonna murder it in his sleep or something, but thinks it's really dumb, this whole thing that we've done. And he probably has a point.
Every time the cat is mentioned, Hank just sighs with exasperation. Like, just thinks, why would anyone want a cat? They're so useless. But Aurora and Croesus especially love the cat, and it's actually proven to be a useful tool for calming Croesus down. Like, because Croesus was freaking out about something, and then Aurora was like, "Look, the cat's chasing a string." And Croesus was like, "Oh, the cat is chasing a string. That's great."
So I guess we keep the cat.
Yep, the party has a cat now.
So anyway,
It's sort of a orange tabby-ish type cat.
we buried the corpses of the previous failed rescuers, and Croesus and Cricket had a long discussion over whether the ground was alive.
Yes, they did that while I was finding loot because of how the stupid compendium doesn't let you keep permalinks. Well, it probably does now that they're not updating it very often, but anyway.
So, after we did that, I can't remember what we ultimately decided about whether the ground was alive or not. Cricket was of the opinion that no, it wasn't. Then Croesus talked about the waystones down below. And so Cricket made the analogy that the ground was like skin, where there's a dead upper layer. It was very important, I'm sure, that we figured this out. Anyway, we moved on from there. And we came to this town. And as we're approaching the town, this little orphan girl waved with an obvious quest giver mark over her head. Comes running up to us.
And Hank kills her.
And No, because, we're complete suckers for plot givers.
Right.
She's about 7,
Yeah.
completely hysterical, running. Aurora calms her down.
So, we're talking with her, and she's going on about how, what was it exactly? It was
Her dad never came home.
and the townsfolk are saying she never had a dad.
And so she, they won't let her do anything about it, so she fled the town to look for help.
Yeah. And we're like, that's kind of weird.
Her name is Brooke, by the way.
Yeah. So, she's a mongrel. Pretty much everyone in these parts is, it seems, aside from the elves. So we go to the town. It's next on the road anyway. That's where we're headed.
Makes sense.
And they've got this, I think it's a lumber mill. I don't think they ever really specified, but I think it was a lumber mill.
The town's called Millburg, and she said her dad worked at a sawmill.
Sawmill, right. So it is a lumber mill.
And he went to work one day and never came home.
Yeah.
And when she asked about him, they all say, you never had that.
So,
And her mother died a long time ago.
yeah. So we start talking to locals to find out what's up. I think the mayor came up first.
He actually came up as he came into town.
Yeah, and he thanked us for bringing Brooke back because they hadn't had the resources to go looking for her.
And they were very concerned because she'd run off. And, he said that they asked him about what was going on, and he said that she was an orphan girl in the town, and that she, he was funny because it was driving everyone crazy because he kept not finishing his sentences and going off into tangents. So he'd be like, he'd start explaining something they were really interested in, and be like, actually, maybe you could help with some of the hauntings around the town. And so anyway, He was saying there's been some hauntings around the town, and I also explained that in this setting, like, people don't really come back from the dead even as ghosts. Like, there's stories of ghosts, but like, no one's really seen one. It's not like a normal thing that happens. Like it might be in some fantasy worlds, right? But they're saying there's ghosts around this town, and that the worst place is the old Kelly place, and Brooke had gone there the night before and got a real scare and had freaked out and ran away from the town. And he affirmed that, her father died when she was, basically right around when she was born, and she's an orphan.
So, now we're investigating ghosts. I'm not sure why.
Do you have a median in your party?
No, we don't have a median party.
You might be safe.
But yeah, Cricket's whole philosophy in all this is she's not really sure why we're doing this, but the majority of the party wants to do it, so she will.
Well, Brooke is very upset, so the party...
Yeah, but we brought her home and sent her off to the orphanage again, so it shouldn't necessarily be our problem. But, this party.
Well,
so someone comes to us with some kind of thing.
And players can't resist a mystery. Like, there's something weird.
Yeah. So,
plus, players inherently trust the little girl over the mayor of the town.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Cricket doesn't really. She doesn't really think that we need to be doing this, but it's Cricket, so we're going to do this. And she's the leader, so she's going to lead us into this.
And it actually works too well because the mayor asked them to check out the old Kelly place anyway.
Yeah.
Because he's interested in their adventures, and he offered to pay them. Well, actually, he didn't offer. They asked, and he offered to pay them a pittance because they don't have hardly any money.
To be paid in installments of 1/20th of a pittance. Anyway. So let's see, who do we meet first after that? I think it was, what's her name? The
Mrs. Butler.
Mrs. Butler?
Yeah,
Yes.
so they started heading to this place, and they encounter an old lady who comes out of her house and says, "Brooke, you're back! I'm so glad to see you back in town. Did you rescue her? Come in, have tea and
She was super insistent that we have tea and crumpets or whatever.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, we don't really want to. She's like, I'll come out with tea and crumpets for you. I'll even put it in your mouth for you and help you chew.
Yeah, they were like, no. They were very suspicious of this lady. They're like, no, we don't want to come in. And she just kept insisting. Yeah, she even was handing them out. And finally, I think Serendipity drank her tea, and so did. Who else did?
I wouldn't be surprised if Hank did.
It was Hank. Yeah, it was Hank and Serendipity drank her tea. It was very delicious and good tea.
Yep.
And next time they get a healing surge, they get 3 extra hit points. Everyone else was like so suspicious.
And horrible drawbacks.
And
Cricket was willing, but it wasn't proper to drink the tea while the rest of the party was drinking the tea, so
And this lady was just super happy that Brooke was home. She said she really liked Brooke, and she never had kids or grandkids, so it was just nice to have Brooke back. But she really liked Brooke. And so, and when she heard that the party was going to take Brooke to the old... Oh, that was also the thing.
Yeah.
When Brooke described where she lived, and they described where the old Kelly place were, it was the same place.
yeah.
So they were going to... And Brooke had wanted to go back to her house, so that's where they were taking her. But when Mrs. Butler heard that they were taking her there, she called Aurora aside and said, she got a real fright there last night, and that's why she ran off. I'd really rather you didn't take her there. Why don't you let her stay with me? You can go check it out, that's fine, but don't take Brooke there. She's confused by what happened last night, and
So we did leave Brooke with Mrs. Butler. The rest of the party was very suspicious of Mrs. Butler and didn't want to. But I was on the side of, let's leave her here. And I can't remember who else was on that side, but
As party leader, you made an executive decision to protect the children.
yeah, I felt that was probably best. We should leave Brooke here. We did leave her there.
yeah, you did.
Yeah. So I can't remember who else was in on that decision.
I don't remember. It was unclear. Like, people were making inside checks on Mrs. Butler, and she just seemed like a nice old lady. There was no reason to be suspicious, just except that the sort of it's kind of a weird. It's D&D, and it was a kind of a weird situation. Like the whole thing where she says her dad never came home, but everyone says she doesn't have a dad is kind of weird. But they the two adults they've talked to both have the same. She went to the old Kelly place, which has ghosts in it, and got freaked out.
So after that, was it that guy, the young?
No, it was.
The old guy. The old guy.
What was his name? It was Old Man something. I forget now.
We go and pass by his house.
It wasn't McGruther, but it was anyway. It was Old Man something. I don't remember.
Yeah, he's
what.
like on a rocking chair on his porch or something, right?
And
Pinocchio.
And as he was coming by, he was like, "Yep, I hear you. What did he say? I hear you brought back Brooke.
Yeah.
Times have sure changed in Millburg."
Well.
And people are like, someone asked him, "Oh, how have times changed?" I don't know. That's weird, isn't it? Times have sure changed in Millburg.
Yes. I don't think he had anything really. Nothing jumps out from what he said that seemed like really important, significant information. He was just this old guy that rambled on about how times were tough.
Yeah, they asked about the Kelly place and about Kelly, because Kelly was some guy who had built this house and died like 60 years ago or something, and the house was in disrepair, and he said he knew Kelly, but he didn't remember really anything about him. It was a long time ago, and basically the house had just had been sort of there'd always been like weird signs of haunting around the house, so people were afraid to go there as it fell into disrepair over the years, and but now there was like more like ghosts seeming to pop up around the town. But
And I think that was the first point where Cricket asked why nobody has simply burned the place down.
well, and his response was, "Man, that's weird, isn't it?" Like he was just genuinely like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
never thought of that."
It's a creepy ruined house that nobody wants to live in and seems all haunty and stuff. Just burn the thing down.
When
Be
that
done with
anger
it.
You know what it probably was? They couldn't get a demolition
It
permit.
doesn't matter if they're angry, they still got to move out because their house is burned down. But anyway,
Yeah, like his reason was that people were scared, but it was they made an insight check and it was like it wasn't like he was like lying or whatever, but he was just like it just struck him like that was the first time he thought of that, like, huh, that's weird. I guess they were scared of it, you know, like it was just he just made up a theory on
trying to
the
figure it
spot.
out, yeah. So, after that, we were starting to get wary because we kept meeting these NPCs that would talk to us forever.
Yes, everyone was getting everyone for some reason has decided they don't want to talk to NPCs now because they talk
They're
to
like-
too many.
They've got these like psychic tendrils that reach out, hook onto the party, and drag them in, and then the party has to struggle to escape. So we're looking around to see if there's anyone else to talk to, so that we can avoid them. And we're like sneaking through the streets and doing. We didn't actually do stealth checks, but we were checking our stealth scores and stuff. And then we noticed, since we're like keeping an eye out for possible conversation partners, there's a guy that's like spying on us from around the corner. And we see him. And we're like, we don't want to talk to him. How do we avoid this? But no, he leaps out from ambush. And comes up to us and talks to us. So, you know, we saw the threat coming, but we weren't able to avoid it.
And he actually was literally, I mean, obviously most of this is in jest, but he was actually literally sneaking around behind them. And then when they were like, hey, I see you, he came out and started talking to them.
Yep. We should have just opened fire.
I know. I roll for initiative.
Yeah.
I shoot him in the head.
So anyway, he came out to talk to us. And so we talked to him. He was, what was his name again?
Jorgensen.
Jorgensen. That was Jorgensen. All right.
And he talked like this. Hi, I'm Jorgensen. What do you say? I hear you're going to the old Kelly place. And I really want to come with you because it's haunted with ghosts. And I love ghosts. They're so cool. And he was going on about how he loves ghosts, but he's afraid. And he's so excited that Party's going in there so he can come with them. And he was like, yeah, I've got a theory about the ghosts in the town. My theory is they're all coming from from the sawmill, because everyone who has appeared as a ghost either worked at the sawmill or was a family member of someone who worked at the sawmill.
And then I think it was Aurora pointed out, or was it Serendipity?
Somebody
Ben
did.
Goldstrider Moore pointed out that everyone in town either works at the sawmill or is a family member of someone who works at the sawmill. Everyone!
Yeah, it's the point of the town.
Yeah. You know, it's like,
Well, I still think it's a good theory.
at which point Hank told him that if he came along, he would kill him.
More or less,
Not in those words.
He tried to intimidate him away, and he was like,
He's like, yeah, if you come along, you'll probably get killed by ghosts.
well, no, and then that didn't work. He's
yeah,
like, then if you don't get killed by ghosts, we'll kill you. And so his eyes filled with tears, and he ran off crying.
Now, I should clarify, it wasn't that, like, we'll murder you. It was like, you'll probably get caught in the crossfire and we'll accidentally kill you or something like that. It was not quite. So he ran off in tears.
Yeah, they had no patience for NPCs at that point.
And we proceeded to the house.
Completely contrary to their previous experience.
Well, see, that's the thing. When they actually show up and start talking to us, it's like they slide right into our brains and we can't get them out. So we're starting to learn that we have to keep them away from us before they open their yaps and cast their conversational spell.
See, I would call it an immersive playstyle where you're interacting with the world, full of interesting stuff. You guys are like,
We don't want to interact with the world.
talking to us.
Run! Run before it's interesting. Yeah. But it's okay. We managed to get to the house without encountering any other talky NPCs. Oh yeah, that's right. When Jurgensen waylaid us, I tried.
Hello.
When Jurgensen waylaid us, I tried using what's the unit's name again? Dawa.
Dawa Kipu?
Yeah, I tried using Dawa to take a Jorgensen. I tried getting Dawa to talk with Jorgensen.
But Dawa didn't think Jorgensen was very worth talking to.
Yeah.
So
That didn't work.
he'd actually agreed to do it just to be nice. Well, he wasn't interested in talking to him. But then Hank scared him away.
Yeah, I had sort of thought that Dawa might be interested in talking with Jorgensen about ghosts, but he wasn't. So.
He was interested, but Jorgensen just didn't seem very smart or wise to him. So
Not like Gross's.
yeah.
So anyway, we get to the house, and we go up to the door and we knock on the door.
Actually, before that, you should mention what the house looked like.
It was a big house and it was all decrepit, wasn't it? No?
Wow, you don't remember very good, do you?
I don't remember what the house looked like.
Brian, you failed me.
I did.
They come to the house. Actually, the first thing I described is how the dirt is right at the end of a road, and the dirt track of the road kept going a little bit and then branched, but there was nothing up there, just open field.
It was like there was a future suburb that was going to be developed there, but hadn't been done yet.
And then the house was in perfect condition. It was like well kept. There was they had like a nice fence. The grass was well kept. There was a vegetable and flower garden that was well kept. It was just like a perfectly well kept house.
I remember now. That was kind of odd. So we go up to the door and we knock on the door. Did we try peeking through the windows first?
No, you knocked on the door because the house seemed in perfectly good condition,
Yeah.
right?
And so then there's a dog barking inside and scrabbling at the door. So we decide not to open the door because there's a guard dog. So that's when we start peeking in through the windows because no one answers. Just a dog barking. So we peek through some of the windows and we find a window into a dining room that has a table set up, and on the table is rotten food. So, obviously the food's been left behind, but not that long ago because it's, not dust.
Yeah, it's like 3 days old rotting food.
So we climb in through the window and start investigating this room. And there's like toys scattered on the floor. And so Cricket starts tidying up the toys. And there were paintings. Was the paintings on the wall in here? Yeah, the paintings were on the wall in here.
Yeah, or on like little tables and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of them.
Yeah. Paintings of a family that lived here. We assumed the Kelly family. And there was one that had a husband and wife and 4 children, was it?
Yeah, most of them had a man and 4 children.
Just a man and 4 children.
Yeah,
right.
There was one that had a man and a wife and 4 children.
Right.
And there was one that had just a man and 1 daughter, and that daughter was clearly Brooke. And Brooke was also one of the kids in the other pictures with all the kids.
So after Cricket had finished tidying up, let's see. I think it was. Did anything happen before Hank poked his head around the corner to see?
I don't think so. You just kind of looked around.
Yeah, we just looked around and did some tidying and stuff. And then the door to the room led to a hallway that went to the front door. So Hank poked his head around to see the dog at the front door. And sure enough, there's a ghost dog at the front door. I don't know why it couldn't get through the door, but there it is.
Doesn't think it can, so
Yeah.
So I also didn't care that you guys were in the living room making a huge noise.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
just stood there waiting in the hallway.
I had thought that the door must be closed or something, but no.
No, it was just a doorway.
Yeah. And so it sees Hank, and it comes charging at us to attack. And so it's roll for initiative, and that was where the session ended. So yeah, we did verbal battle mostly throughout this session, attempting to escape from various NPCs that had ensnared us.
Lots of fishy things going on in this town.
And then at the end we broke into a house and got attacked by a ghost dog.
There was a ghost dog?
Yeah, it was transparent or something.
Yeah, it was a translucent dog, and it just behaved, as a guard dog would attack.
So, I can't remember, none of the loot really was particularly unusual, but... So yeah, now we just gotta kill our way through this ghost mystery.
Scooby-Doo ghost mystery. You guys have a cat. You should have named the cat Scooby-Doo.
No, Hank is our Scooby.
Yeah.
It was funny when you
Hey,
said...
Brian, you always complain about all the other characters being racist.
I need some hanky snacks. Hanky.
What's up with these people? Trouble seems to go out of its way to find them. That or boring people. It's one or the other. You can't have normal things. Boring people who want to, talk about how times are tough. And it's like a magnet. They're drawn to them.
Dear Diary, I have excellent news. We saved the life of a beautiful, innocent creature. The cat that the Warforged were trying to slowly starve to death, for who knows what lack of reason. Warforged drive me crazy. Anyway, she's very well, and it's a female cat, and Cricket and I discussed it, and we decided to name her Parsnip, and she's going to be our cat, and I'm so excited. She's very affectionate, and she's really taken a liking to Croesus. And who can blame her? I think she's really connected with his lovable, cuddly side, which I was beginning to despair was actually there. Thank you for Parsnip, who, hey, I wonder if somehow... No, that doesn't make sense.
We seem to have this knack for getting ourselves into these situations that we had no intention of going for or didn't expect, and they're totally off the beaten path. And yeah, we came across this little girl, and she claimed that all the townsfolk are saying her father doesn't exist. So we talked to the townsfolk, and it seems that she's confused, and they seem like good people and everything. The mayor was part shifter, and so I'm sure he's a good guy. And yeah, lost my train of thought. So yeah, now we went to this house where she claims she's from, but everybody else says is this horrible haunted house. And yeah, I kind of threatened this kid, and because I wanted to keep him away from the house, because you never know, it could be dangerous, and I kind of went too far and accidentally threatened to kill him, and probably shouldn't have said that, but if it keeps him safe, then it's worth it, as long as everybody doesn't come chasing after me with pitchforks and torches and saying, "You're trying to kill this guy," and I'll be like, "No, whatever." Anyway, I'm rambling now, and you get the idea.
It's times like these when I'm very glad that even though I'm the party leader, I'm not technically in charge, and my job is merely to do what everyone else wants to do. Because, really, I don't know what we're supposed to do right here. There's a haunted house. and a bunch of very strange townsfolk. And I don't understand any of it, but that's all right because I don't have to. Aurora and Hank and Croesus and, well, they're the only ones that really matter. They all want to investigate, and so we'll investigate. And that's all I really need to know.
Parsley. It's a good name. I like parsley. Used to make soup. Made soup for my friends because they weren't feeling well. But you're alright, Parsley. Yeah, you're a good little cat. Yeah.